If you're moving to Nashville and looking at luxury homes, there's one mistake I see buyers make over and over again. They assume wealthy people all live in the same place. They don't. You can have two families with the exact same budget, $5 million, $10 million, $20 million, and they may choose completely different lifestyles. One wants a gated golf community, one wants 100 acres in Leipers Fork. One wants to be 5 minutes from downtown. Another wants to walk out their back door and get on a boat. That's what makes Middle Tennessee so unique. This isn't a market where all the luxury homes are tucked into one zip code. It's actually a collection of incredible communities, each with its own personality, lifestyle, and pace of life. And if you don't understand before you start looking, you're probably going to spend a lot of time touring homes that were never the right fit to begin with. After helping buyers relocate here for almost 20 years, I've learned some things. The happiest buyers don't fall in love with a house first. They fall in love with a lifestyle. Then they find the house that fits it. That's exactly what we're gonna talk about today. I'm gonna walk you through where many of Nashville's luxury buyers choose to live, who those communities are best suited for, and what makes each one unique. And some of the biggest mistakes I see affluent buyers make when they're relocating to Middle Tennessee. By the end of this video, you'll have a much better idea of which area actually fits your life. Let's jump in. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Josh Anderson. I've spent my entire life here in Middle Tennessee, and my family's roots in this area go back more than 200 years. For more than 20 years, I've been helping buyers navigate one of the biggest financial decisions they'll ever make. Some are moving across town, others are relocating from California, Texas, Florida, New York, Chicago, and just about everywhere in between. One thing I hear all the time, Josh, just tell me where everyone with money lives. And my answer is always the same. That's the wrong question. The better question is this: which community fits the way you actually want to live? Because if you're spending $2 million, $5 million, $10 million, the culture of a neighborhood is every bit as important as the house itself. I've had buyers fly into Nashville convinced they wanted one area, only to spend one afternoon driving around with me and completely change their minds. Why? Because they finally experienced the lifestyle. That's something Zillow can't show you, pictures can't show you, and you just have to understand the personality of each community. So let's start with one of the most recognizable luxury addresses anywhere in Tennessee, Belle Meade. When people think about luxury real estate in Nashville, Belle Meade is usually the first place that comes to mind, and for good reason. Belle Meade has represented luxury for generations. It's one of Nashville's most established communities. They're beautiful homes, tree-lined streets, historic estates, and a location that's incredibly difficult to beat. Many of Nashville's business leaders, healthcare executives, attorneys, entrepreneurs, and families with deep roots in this city have chosen Belle Meade for decades. One thing I love about Belle Meade is how connected everything feels. You're just minutes from downtown, minutes from Green Hills, just a few minutes from some of Nashville's top private schools, minutes from hospitals, shopping, restaurants, country clubs. Everything is close. That's a huge reason buyers relocating from cities like Dallas, Atlanta, Charlotte, or Chicago feel comfortable here almost immediately. It feels established, it feels timeless, it feels like a place people plan to stay. Now, there's a trade-off. Lots tend to be smaller than what you'll find further south in Williamson County. If you're dreaming about 10 acres and complete privacy, Belle Meade may not be your answer. But if convenience, prestige, and being close to everything that matters to you, Belle Meade is always part of the conversation. Now let's drive just a few minutes away, because this is where I see a lot of buyers completely change direction. Forest Hills. I can't tell you how many people come to Nashville convinced they're buying in Belle Meade. Then we drive through Forest Hills, and suddenly the conversation changes. Why? Because Forest Hills gives you something that's becoming harder and harder to find. Space, large lots, more mature trees, more privacy. It's quiet. It almost feels like you're on vacation, yet you're still just minutes from Green Hills, downtown, Brentwood, the airport, literally everything you need. I've worked with executives relocating from California and Texas who couldn't believe how secluded they felt while still being so close to the city. That's what makes Forest Hills so special. Then there's Oak Hill. I usually show Forest Hills and Oak Hill together because buyers are looking for a similar experience. Beautiful custom homes, larger lots, privacy, convenience. They have slightly different personalities, but both appeal to buyers who want luxury without feeling like they're living in the middle of the city. But among people who know Nashville, they're incredibly respected. These communities don't always receive the same national attention as Belle Meade or Green Hills. And Green Hills attracts a completely different buyer. This is luxury for someone who wants convenience. If you love being close to great restaurants, high-end shopping, business meetings, medical facilities, private schools, and everything Nashville has to offer, Green Hills deserves a serious look. Everything feels close, everything feels connected, and some buyers are absolutely love that energy. Others decide they want a little more breathing room. Neither answer is right. It's simply a matter of lifestyle. That's something you'll hear me say throughout this video, because there isn't one perfect luxury neighborhood in Nashville. There are several incredible ones. The goal isn't finding the best neighborhood. The goal is finding the best neighborhood for you. And that's where things really start to get interesting. Because once we head south into Williamson County, you're gonna see why so many executives, business owners, physicians, and relocating families ultimately decide that's where they wanna call home. All right, let's head south. Because if someone asks me where a lot of Nashville's executives, physicians, healthcare leaders, entrepreneurs, and business owners choose to live, Brentwood's one of the very first places we're talking about. Brentwood's become one of the most premier executive communities anywhere in the country, and it's easy to understand why. You can be downtown for a meeting, back home for dinner, and still enjoy a true suburban luxury lifestyle. For buyers relocating from places like Dallas, Atlanta, LA, Scottsdale, or Chicago, Brentwood just makes sense. Beautiful neighborhoods, outstanding schools, luxury homes, large lots, easy access to downtown, and a quality of life that's hard to duplicate. I've lost count of how many buyers have flown into Nashville, convinced they want to live in the city, then we spend a day touring Brentwood. And by dinner, they're saying, wow, I didn't know a place like this existed in Middle Tennessee. That's a common reaction, because Brentwood gives you something a lot of major cities can't. You don't feel like you're sacrificing convenience to gain space. You really can have both. Neighborhoods like Annandale, Prim Farm, Hampton Reserve, Terramore, Avalon, Witherspoon, they each have their own personality. Some offer larger estate homes, some have community amenities, some are better suited for growing families. Others appeal to buyers looking for privacy and custom construction, but they're all sharing one thing. People move there because they plan to stay there. Let me tell you something that surprises a lot of people relocating here. Country clubs influence real estate decisions more than almost anything else in the luxury market. I know that sounds backwards, but I've watched it happen over and over again. I've had buyers join a club, then start looking for a house nearby, not the other way around. And why? Because the club becomes part of everyday life. That's where the relationships are built. That's where kids meet friends. That's where weekends happen. That's where business conversations happen. You're not simply joining to play golf. You're joining a community. Richland Country Club, Belle Meade Country Club, Brentwood Country Club, Nashville Golf and Athletic Club, Governor's Club, Temple Hills, Hillwood Country Club. Each one attracts a different membership. Each has its own culture, and if you're relocating, understanding that club landscape can completely change where you decide to live. It's something a lot of buyers don't think about until we start driving through these communities. Then the light bulb goes off. They realize, wait, I'm not just buying a house. I'm choosing where my family is going to spend the next 10 or 20 years. That's a completely different decision. Now let's talk about Franklin, because if there's one area that consistently steals buyers' hearts, it's definitely Franklin. I say this all the time. People coming to Franklin looking for houses, leave talking about the lifestyle. Franklin has an energy that's hard to explain until you've spent some time there. Historic downtown, local restaurants, boutique shopping, community events, beautiful parks, tree-lined streets. It just feels authentic, established, and like somewhere people genuinely enjoy living. I've had families relocate from California, Colorado, Texas, Florida, and almost every one of them says something similar. This is exactly what we were hoping to find. Franklin attracts a wide range of buyers: healthcare executives, business owners, professional athletes, musicians, entrepreneurs, young families, and also retirees. It's one of the few luxury markets that really appeals to almost everybody. That's one of the biggest strengths. Within Franklin, every luxury neighborhood tells a different story. West Haven has one of the strongest community atmospheres anywhere in Middle Tennessee. Kids ride bikes, neighbors know each other, families walk to dinner, people actually spend time together. For a lot of buyers, that's exactly what they're looking for. Berry Farms offers something completely different. It's a more modern feel, walkability, restaurants, shopping, mixed-use environment that appeals to buyers who like having amenities close by. Then you have estate communities like Laurelbrook. Completely different experience. Privacy, custom homes, gated entrances, beautiful rolling terrain. It's ideal for buyers who want luxury but don't necessarily want to be surrounded by hundreds of homes. And throughout Franklin, you'll also find incredible opportunities on acreage. Some of the most beautiful properties in Tennessee aren't inside neighborhoods at all. They're tucked away behind really long driveways, hidden among rolling hills. They offer privacy that's becoming harder and harder to find. Before we go any further, this is usually the point where buyers realize they're making a much bigger decision than they expected. You're not choosing granite countertops. You're not just choosing paint colors. You're choosing your weekends. You're choosing your commute. You're choosing your kids' school. You're also choosing where you'll spend holidays, where you'll make friends, where your life's going to happen. And that's why I tell buyers all the time, don't rush this part. The right community makes every house feel better. The wrong community can make even the perfect house feel like the wrong decision. If you're trying to narrow all this down before making a trip to Nashville, download our free relocation guide below. It's built specifically to help buyers understand the differences between these communities before they ever start touring homes. I think it'll save you a tremendous amount of time. Now let's head to one of my favorite parts of Middle Tennessee, because if privacy is what you're after, the next place we're going feels like a completely different world. Because this is where I see a lot of buyers completely change what they thought they wanted. Leipers Fork. If you've never been there before, it's really hard to describe. You don't move to Leipers Fork because you want to be in the middle of everything. You move there because you don't. Life slows down, the roads get quieter, the views get bigger, and suddenly you realize luxury doesn't always mean being close to the city. Sometimes it means getting away from it. Leipers Fork has become one of the most desirable luxury markets anywhere in the Southeast. You'll find beautiful farms, rolling hills, horse properties, custom estates, long private driveways, and a level of privacy that's becoming almost impossible to find in many parts of the country. It's one of those places where people wave as they drive by, and evenings are quiet, where you actually see the stars at night. I've worked with professional athletes, musicians, business owners, healthcare executives, and entrepreneurs who could have lived almost anywhere, and they chose Leipers Fork because they wanted a different pace of life. Here's something I've noticed. A lot of buyers come here convinced they want Brentwood. Then I take them to Leipers Fork. By the end of the afternoon, they're asking, man, can we see a few more properties out here? Because they realized what they really wanted wasn't convenience, it was peace. Now, Leipers Fork isn't for everybody. If you want to walk to dinner, be 5 minutes from shopping, or have a 15-minute commute downtown, this probably isn't the answer for you. But if privacy, land, views, and a slower pace of life matter to you, Leipers Fork deserves a serious look. Now let's head just a little further east. Arrington and College Grove have changed dramatically over the last several years, and I don't see that slowing down. These communities have become incredibly attractive for buyers looking for something that's harder to find closer to downtown. Larger home sites, custom construction, beautiful rolling countryside, privacy, views, and room to breathe. It's luxury, just in a different setting. You're also seeing some incredible new communities continue to reshape this part of Williamson County. Places like Wailea are introducing an entirely different vision of luxury living. Wellness, nature, conservation, outdoor recreation, beautiful architecture. It's just attracting buyers from all over the country who aren't necessarily looking for another golf community. They're looking for a lifestyle that's centered around the land itself. And that's becoming a much bigger trend than it was even 5 years ago. I've also noticed buyers relocating from Scottsdale, Austin, South Florida, and Southern California, feeling very comfortable in this part of Middle Tennessee. They love having space. They love the scenery, love the privacy, and they appreciate being close enough to Franklin without feeling like they're living in a busy suburb. That's why Arrington and College Grove continue moving higher on so many buyers' lists. Now let me show you a part of Middle Tennessee that surprises almost every relocation buyer, the lake. Most people don't realize just how much waterfront living we have here in Middle Tennessee. Then I take them to Old Hickory Lake. Everything changes. Communities around Hendersonville and Gallatin offer something that's completely different from Brentwood or Franklin. Waterfront homes, private docks, golf, country clubs, boating, and fishing. Sunsets over the lake. It's a lifestyle that feels like you're on vacation every single day. Fairview Plantation has become one of the premier lake communities in Middle Tennessee. There's beautiful homes, golf, club amenities, and direct access to Old Hickory Lake. Then there's Tennessee Grasslands Golf and Country Club, another outstanding option for buyers who want championship golf combined with an active family lifestyle. One thing I hear all the time, I had no idea Nashville had this. That's a common reaction. People fly in expecting to choose between Brentwood and Franklin, then they spend one afternoon on the lake. And suddenly they're asking a completely different set of questions. If your dream includes boating, waterfront views, or simply living somewhere that feels a little more relaxed, don't overlook this part of the market. Now let's talk about something that drives luxury real estate decisions every single day: schools. Even buyers who don't have children usually ask about them because great school systems support strong communities. Williamson County schools continue to be one of the biggest reasons buyers choose Franklin and Brentwood. Families move here specifically for the schools. That's just the reality. You'll also find excellent opportunities throughout Wilson County and Sumner County as those areas continue to grow. But here's something many relocation buyers don't fully appreciate. A larger percentage of these luxury buyers choose private schools regardless of where they live. Schools like Innsworth, Montgomery Bell Academy, Harpeth Hall, Battleground Academy, Christ Presbyterian Academy, Franklin Road Academy, Lipscomb Academy, University School of Nashville, Father Ryan, and St. Cecilia all become part of the conversation. That's why I encourage buyers to think about schools early. Whether you're considering public or private education, school decisions often influence where you'll ultimately choose to live. It's much easier to plan for that upfront than it is after you've already purchased a home. Let's talk about what I believe is really driving Nashville's luxury market. Are you listening? Because understanding why people are moving here helps explain why these communities continue growing year after year. Let's finish by talking about the bigger picture, because one question comes up all the time. Josh, why is Nashville attracting so many affluent buyers? And the answer isn't one thing. It's several things all working together. Healthcare, technology, entertainment, professional sports, finance, entrepreneurship. Nashville has one of the most diversified economies anywhere in the Southeast. And that's one of the reasons I've been so confident in this market for so many years. Healthcare alone has shaped this city in ways most people don't fully understand. Companies like HCA helped establish Nashville as one of the healthcare capitals of the country decades ago. Today, healthcare continues bringing physicians, executives, researchers, investors, entrepreneurs here every year. Then you add in technology, corporate headquarters, financial services, the music industry, content creators, professional sports, the Titans, the Predators, Nashville SC. All of those industries continue attracting people from across the country who are looking for opportunity and a better quality of life. And here's something I love about Nashville. This isn't a one industry town, and that's important. When a city's economy depends on one industry, it becomes vulnerable. Nashville doesn't have that problem. Our economy continues to diversify, and that's one of the reasons I believe this market has such a long, strong future. Now, before we wrap up, I want to share the two biggest mistakes I see luxury buyers make when they relocate here. The first one, they assume luxury is the same everywhere, and it just isn't. A $4 million home in Belle Meade offers a completely different lifestyle than a $4 million home in Leipers Fork. A $5 million home in Brentwood feels completely different than a $5 million waterfront property on Old Hickory Lake. The price may be similar, but the lifestyle couldn't be more different. That's why I spend so much time talking about communities instead of square footage. Because once you understand the community, finding the right home becomes so much easier. Second mistake, buyers spend too much time thinking about the house and not enough time thinking about everyday life. I ask my clients questions like, where do you want to spend Saturday morning? Do you picture yourself playing golf? Are you going to take your boat out? Are you going to walk to dinner? Are you riding horses? Are you watching your kids ride bikes throughout the neighborhood? Do you want neighbors close by, or do you want complete privacy? Those answers usually tell us where you should be looking long before we ever schedule a showing. The most successful relocations I've been a part of all have one thing in common. The buyers didn't chase the biggest house. They found the lifestyle they wanted, then they bought the house that supported it. So let's recap everything we've covered. Belle Meade offers history, prestige, and one of the best locations in the city. Forest Hills and Oak Hills gives you privacy without giving up convenience. Green Hills puts shopping, dining, healthcare, and private schools just minutes away. Brentwood has become one of the premier executive communities in America. Franklin blends luxury with character and a true sense of community. It also has a hallmark downtown. Leipers Fork delivers land, privacy, and a completely different pace of life. Arrington and College Grove continue attracting buyers looking for newer luxury, larger properties, and incredible scenery. Old Hickory Lake offers waterfront living that's unlike anything else in Middle Tennessee. None of these communities are trying to be the same, and that's exactly what makes Nashville so special. You're not choosing between better and worse. You're choosing between different lifestyles. The right answer depends entirely on you. If you're thinking about relocating to Nashville, Brentwood, Franklin, Belle Meade, Forest Hills, Green Hills, Leipers Fork, College Grove, Arrington, Hendersonville, Gallatin, or anywhere else across Middle Tennessee, my team and I would love to help. Not just by opening doors, but by helping you understand the communities, the schools, the commute, the country clubs, the neighborhoods, and all the things that make a huge difference after you've moved in. Because buying a luxury home isn't just about making a good investment, it's about creating a life you'll love for years to come. And if you haven't already, be sure to download our free Nashville relocation guide using the link below. It's full of information we simply couldn't fit into one video, and it'll give you a great head start before you ever come to town. And if you found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Every week we're sharing what it's really like to live, work, and invest here in Middle Tennessee. My goal is simple, to give you the information I wish every relocation buyer had before making one of the biggest decisions of their life. Thanks so much for spending some time with me today. I'm Josh Anderson, and I'll see you in the next video. And remember, don't look for the most expensive address. Look for the place where you and your family will feel most at home, because that's the move you'll never regret.